All right, let's talk about wiring an automatic transfer switch, or an ATS. When you think about the potential dangers, your mind probably jumps straight to the live wires, right? I mean, that's where the power is. But what if I told you the real danger, the mistake that most people make, is hiding in plain sight?
Yeah, exactly. The real danger is hiding in the neutral wire. This one idea, well, it changes everything. Because here's the crazy part. You can wire your neutral wrong, and your system might seem to work perfectly fine, but underneath, it could be a ticking time bomb. So today, we're going to do a little detective work. We're going to uncover this hidden danger, and more importantly, I'll show you exactly how to avoid it.
Okay, first things first, we have got to bust a massive, and I mean massive, myth about the neutral wire. A myth that is honestly pretty dangerous.
So here it is, the big myth. The neutral wire is harmless. It carries no energy. A lot of folks see it as this sort of safe return path, almost like it's another ground wire. And that, well, that could not be more wrong. Believing this is step one on the road to a really, really bad installation. The reality is completely different. Think of your circuit like a loop. The live wire brings the power out, and the neutral wire's job is to bring it all back. It completes the circuit. So whenever your system is running, that neutral wire is just as active with current as the hot wire is. It's a current-carrying conductor, period. And how you manage that neutral wire in your transfer switch, that's the difference between a rock-solid safe setup and a serious hazard.
Okay, so if the neutral is so critical, how do we handle it correctly? Well, it all comes down to one single foundational rule of electrical safety. This is especially true when you're dealing with multiple power sources, like your main grid power and a backup generator. And that rule revolves around something called the neutral ground bond. Now, don't let the technical term throw you. Just think of it as the home base for your entire electrical system. It's the one single spot where we intentionally connect the neutral wire to the ground wire and the earth itself. Why do we do this? Two big reasons. It gives your whole system a stable reference point so voltage doesn't go all haywire, and, critically, it creates a safe escape path for current to flow if something goes wrong, which is what trips the breaker. And here it is, the absolute, non-negotiable golden rule. Your system must have only one neutral ground bond at any given time. Not two, not zero, just one. It doesn't matter if you're on grid power or generator power, there can only be one active bond. Breaking this one rule, that's the root cause of nearly every major hazard we're talking about today. So, you're probably asking, how do people mess this up? Well, it almost always happens in one of two ways when they hook up that backup generator or inverter. Let's break down the two classic critical wiring mistakes. It all boils down to a simple mismatch. A mismatch between your transfer switch and your generator. You see, some transfer switches, called 3-pole switches, actually switch the neutral wire right along with the two hot wires. Others, 2-pole switches, only switch the hot wires and leave the neutral connected all the time. Picking the wrong one for your specific generator is what causes all the trouble. And this table here just breaks down how bad it can get. Look at mistake number 1. You use a 2-pole switch with a generator that already has its own bond. Bam! Now you have two bonds at the same time. This creates what are called parallel paths. Current is lazy. It takes all roads available. So now it's not just flowing back on the neutral, it's flowing on your ground wires, on your metal pipes, on things you might touch. That's a huge shock and fire hazard. Now look at mistake number 2, the opposite problem. You use a 3-pole switch that breaks the neutral connection, but your generator doesn't have its own bond. For that split second during the transfer, your entire system has no bond at all. It's floating. Voltage can become wildly unstable, lights flicker, and you can literally fry your sensitive electronics. Okay, enough of the scary stuff. That's the problem. The good news? The solution is actually really, really simple. It's a straightforward 3-step process that guarantees you get this right every single time. So how do you nail this? Let's walk right through it. It's not magic, it's just about knowing what you have and matching things up correctly before you even start. Step 1, identify. Look at your generator or your inverter. Is its neutral bonded to its frame, or is it floating? You have to know this. Check the manual, look for a label. This is the crucial first piece of the puzzle. Step 2, match. Now you just match the transfer switch to what you found. It's a simple rule. If your generator has a bonded neutral, you need a 3-pole transfer switch. That switch will disconnect the main panel's bond when the generator's on, so you only have one. If your generator has a floating neutral, it's designed to use the bond back in your main panel, so a 2-pole switch that doesn't switch the neutral is what you need. And step 3, verify. No matter what, double check your work. The goal is always, always, always to maintain that one single bond, no matter which power source is active. All right, before we finish up, I want to leave you with one last thought. And it's an important one, because the scariest part about getting this wrong is that it creates invisible dangers. Dangers you can't see or hear. I want you to burn this number into your brain. 1. That's it. That is the number of neutral ground bonds your system should have at any single moment. Not 2, not 0, just 1. Everything we've talked about comes back to this one simple number. And there is another hidden risk here, the switching sequence. You see, a good quality transfer switch is smart. It's designed to make and break connections in a very specific order to keep things stable. But a cheap one, or one that's wired incorrectly, it might disconnect the neutral before it disconnects the live wires. Even for a fraction of a second, that's a disaster. That tiny gap can create a massive voltage spike, or dip, which is poison for today's sensitive electronics. And this, to me, is the most chilling part of all. A system wired incorrectly like this might not show any signs of a problem. Your lights will turn on, your fridge will run, everything will seem perfectly normal. But silently, in the background, it could be sending dangerous current onto every metal pipe and appliance casing in your house, just waiting for someone to touch the wrong thing at the wrong time. So if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. The neutral is not a lazy, harmless wire just along for the ride. It is an active, working part of the circuit. You have to treat it with the exact same respect and the exact same caution as you do the hot wires, because when things go wrong, it can be every bit as dangerous.